Thank you, Michael, and thank you all for being here. I wanted to come to talk a little bit about House File 72, Senate File 86, the bill to repeal Minnesota's current restrictions on new coal power plants. Because when we passed this original legislation, the Next Generation Energy Act, I think the Next Generation Energy Act was the best of policymaking at the Capitol. It was led by a governor who thought this was an important issue. It was worked on by legislators of both parties, and it addressed a major public policy issue in a real way. That's what the public expects us to do here at the Capitol, is to take serious action and work together to address real problems facing the people of Minnesota, our country, and our world. And what disappoints me so much about the proposed repeal of this crucial part of the Next Generation Energy Act is that we haven't gotten different information since we passed this nation-leading policy. The science is stronger. More and more people around the world are seeing the evidence as clear that we need to take action on addressing climate change. Fossil fuel energy sources are more expensive and less secure. And we've seen in Minnesota and elsewhere around the country what a new clean energy economy can do to create jobs and spur economic development. The only thing that has changed is the viewpoint of some legislators in making this not a bipartisan issue. Our energy future, unfortunately, has become a partisan issue, and I think the people of Minnesota and our clean energy future is the worse for it. And so I call on my colleagues to not pass this bill, and I hope they will join together again, as we have in the past, in a bipartisan way to make sure Minnesota is leading a clean energy future rather than falling behind with old, dirty sources of energy.
Senator Knuth, what does it say about the Republican Party and the direction that the Republican Party is going, that Pawlenty backed the Next Generation Energy Initiative, and yet the push for repeal is coming from the opposite side of the aisle?
Well, thank you for the question. I think the Next Generation Energy Act represents the best of legislative action, and Pawlenty was a part of that. I'll give him credit for helping to lead on clean energy and climate change, and I think that was an important part of us advancing as far as we did in Minnesota, and of us having the clean energy economy growing the way it is in Minnesota. And up here with the question earlier, I frankly, it baffles me why the Republican Party, many members, would shift their view on this issue and change their action on this issue, because the only thing that's changed since 2007 is the evidence of climate change and humans causing it is more clear. We have this evidence is not just agreed to by scientists. It's not just agreed to by one party or the other. It's agreed to by our Department of Defense. It's agreed to by every branch of the U.S. military. It's agreed to by world faith leaders from all different faith backgrounds. It's baffling to me why, in light of originally a very strong bipartisan agreement and increasing evidence that climate change is a problem and fossil fuel energy sources into the future are going to be more and more expensive, particularly coal. Natural gas has been going up and down recently. It baffles me that in light of all this evidence from all these different sectors of groups that don't always agree, why the proposal would be on the table for Minnesota to take a huge step back in terms of our energy future, a step that could jeopardize human health, clean water, global climate, national security, and undermines one of the brightest spots in our economy, which is Minnesotans on the ground making our economy more energy efficient, empowering it with clean sources of energy that we can build and manufacture right here in the state. I don't get it. I don't understand the reasons for the flip, and I would like to because it's very frustrating, but I don't understand.